In the serene town of Caldwell, Idaho, a charming house promised a fresh start for three unsuspecting women. Caldwell, known for its sweeping vistas and tranquil streets, seemed the perfect setting for new beginnings. Here, nestled among whispering pines, stood a quaint house that beckoned with the promise of peace and renewal. Nadia, Peyton, and Cheryl, each one brimming with hopes and dreams, crossed the threshold of their new home with bright eyes and eager hearts. The air was crisp, the sky a clear azure, and everything seemed imbued with the possibility of starting afresh. As they unpacked boxes and laughed together in their sunlit kitchen, the house seemed to embrace them, its walls echoing their cheerful chatter. But as the shadows grew longer and the initial excitement settled into the quiet of evening, the walls of this house whispered of secrets yet untold. What none of them knew was that they were not alone in their new beginning. Hidden within the very foundation of their hope was a chilling reality, interwoven into the fabric of the house itself. But beneath the veneer of this new beginning lurked a dark secret waiting to be unearthed. Gerald Michael Bollinger, a seemingly devoted husband and caring boyfriend, but behind closed doors, a master of deception. In the quaint neighborhood of Caldwell, Idaho, Gerald played the role of a loving husband to Cheryl with flawless precision. Their marriage, to any onlooker, was filled with shared laughter and mutual respect. Meanwhile, just a few blocks away, he maintained a completely different facade as a charming boyfriend to Nadia, a woman who believed she had found her soulmate in Gerald. How did he manage such a double life? Gerald was a craftsman of lies, tailoring his stories and schedules with the meticulousness of a tailor stitching a bespoke suit. To Cheryl, he was often away on business trips, a convenient cover for the times he spent with Nadia. To Nadia, he painted a picture of a lonely man trapped in an unhappy marriage, awaiting the right moment to leave. The deceit ran deep. Gerald had separate social media accounts, separate sets of friends, even separate preferences and personalities tailored to suit Cheryl and Nadia's individual tastes. He was a chameleon, changing colors to blend into the emotional landscapes of both women's lives. Trust, a delicate and precious thing, was freely given by both Cheryl and Nadia. They saw in Gerald what he wanted them to see, a mirage expertly crafted to conceal his duplicitous life. But as the walls of lies grew taller, the foundation began to crumble. A tangled web of lies, once woven so meticulously, began to fray at the edges. As Gerald Michael Bollinger's carefully constructed facade started to crumble, the atmosphere in the Caldwell home grew thick with tension. Nadia, unaware of Gerald's marital status, stumbled upon a telling receipt from a jeweler, engraved with Cheryl's name. The revelation sent shockwaves through the house. Peyton, the ever-observant friend, noticed a shift in Gerald's behavior, his nervous glances, his hurried whispers into the phone. The pieces of a sinister puzzle were slowly falling into place. Suspicion seeded distrust among the trio, as each began to question the man they thought they knew. Cheryl, confronted with the undeniable evidence of Gerald's betrayal, felt her world spinning. The confrontation that followed was fraught with anger and disbelief. Gerald, cornered by the accusations, could see his dual worlds colliding, and with the truth inching closer to the light, a desperate Gerald plotted a dark escape. In a nightmarish turn, the unraveling of a double life led to an unspeakable tragedy. The once peaceful town of Caldwell, Idaho, was shattered when the dark secrets hidden within the walls of a seemingly ordinary home were violently exposed. Gerald Michael Bollinger, a man enmeshed in deceit, had constructed an elaborate facade. To the outside world, he was a loving husband to Cheryl and a charismatic partner to Nadia. But beneath this veneer lay a chilling reality. As the sun set on a fateful evening, the threads of his double life began to unravel, and with it the restraint that had held his darker impulses at bay. The discovery was accidental. Peyton, a close friend staying with Nadia and Cheryl, stumbled upon incriminating emails between Gerald and another unknown lover. The confrontation that followed was heated and full of betrayal. Voices raised in anger echoed through the halls of the home, a prelude to the calamity that would soon unfold. In the dead of night, the house on Elm Street became a silent witness to a grim tableau. By morning, the lifeless bodies of Cheryl, Nadia, Peyton, and their beloved pets were discovered, each a victim of Gerald's frenzied attempt to conceal his duplicity. The scene was devoid of the usual chaos typical of violent acts. Instead, it was eerily methodical, a testament to the cold calculation of the perpetrator. Authorities arrived to a house locked from within, a puzzle that hinted at the premeditated nature of the crime. Inside, the air was stifling, heavy with the weight of lost lives and shattered dreams. Personal items were strewn about, a stark contrast to the stillness of the victims, as if in their final moments they had reached out for the comfort of the familiar. The community of Caldwell was left reeling as the morning sun revealed the horrific scene. The tranquility of the town was irrevocably broken as neighbors and friends struggled to comprehend the violence that had torn through their lives, leaving a void where once there had been laughter and love. As Gerald vanished into the vast wilderness, a frantic manhunt ensued. Law enforcement agencies sprang into action, coordinating a massive search effort that extended deep into the rugged landscapes of the Grand Teton National Park. The park's vast expanses of forested terrain and steep mountain ranges posed significant challenges, turning the search into a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek with nature itself. Helicopters buzzed overhead, equipped with thermal imaging cameras, while ground teams with trained search dogs combed through dense underbrush and hidden crevices. Despite their expertise and determination, the natural elements of the park, from its unpredictable weather to its treacherous topography, often hampered their progress. Authorities knew they were not just battling against time, but against the very wilderness Gerald had chosen as his refuge. The case quickly captured national attention, drawing in resources and support from various federal agencies. The FBI, along with local police, appealed to the public for any information that could lead to Gerald's capture. News outlets and social media buzzed with updates and theories, each twist and turn of the manhunt fueling a growing media frenzy. As the days turned into weeks, the initial surge of activity began to wane. The vastness of the terrain and the cunning of a man determined to evade capture made every lead, every footprint, and every broken branch a crucial piece of the puzzle. Yet, with each passing day, Gerald Bollinger became more a ghost than a man. Investigations into Gerald's past painted the chilling portrait of a seasoned manipulator. Gerald Michael Bollinger, a name that sent shivers down the spine of Caldwell, Idaho, was not just a man of secrets, but a man of many faces. His menacing journey didn't start at the horrific scene in the quaint house on Maple Street. It was merely the crescendo of a long, dark symphony. Authorities, digging into the layers of Gerald's life, discovered a trail of broken lives and unspoken fears. In his wake, former partners spoke of a charming man who transformed into a controlling tyrant, a pattern that repeated itself with alarming frequency. Each relationship was a rehearsal for the next, each more manipulative and destructive than the last. This pattern wasn't confined to personal relationships. Small businesses across several states reported mysterious losses and unsettling encounters, all linked back to Gerald's transient stops in their towns. The deeper the investigation went, the more apparent it became that Gerald's criminal activities might have spanned decades, crossing state lines and leaving a legacy of betrayal. Forensic psychologists weighed in, suggesting that Gerald's charm was his most potent weapon, allowing him to weave through society undetected, manipulating those who trusted him the most. This chilling insight into his psyche helped law enforcement connect previously isolated incidents, giving a clearer picture of a man who thrived in shadows. A pattern emerged, one of deceit and danger, hidden behind a charming facade. The aftershocks of Gerald Bollinger's crimes resonated deeply within the Caldwell community. In the wake of such chilling revelations, the once serene streets of this small Idaho town were cloaked in a palpable cloud of fear and mistrust. Neighbors who once greeted each other with smiles now exchanged wary glances, questioning what sinister secrets might lay behind the familiar facades of their own homes. Community bonds, however, showed remarkable resilience. Vigils illuminated the night, each candle a flickering testament to the lives tragically cut short. These gatherings were not just memorials, but a fierce declaration that the community would not be defined by the horrors inflicted upon them. Local churches opened their doors wider, offering solace and counseling sessions, weaving a tapestry of support that blanketed those most affected by the tragedy. Efforts to support the victims' families surged with heartfelt donations and fundraisers, ensuring that the financial burden of such an immense loss would not be theirs to bear alone. Schools implemented new safety protocols and counseling services, prioritizing the well-being of their students, reinforcing the idea that the young minds of Caldwell deserved a secure environment to learn and grow. Through these actions, the community of Caldwell showed the world their unyielding spirit and commitment to one another. As Caldwell mourns, The quest for justice remains relentless, a beacon of hope in the consuming darkness.